Hello, welcome to Local Matters. My name is Vicky Evans. A membership-driven collective media production company, Pan Left Productions encourages artists and activists in the positive use of media for social and environmental justice and social change. Let's find out how this all works as we welcome Ron Austin. And Ron is a video maker and also on the board of directors of Pan Left Productions. And we welcome Kathleen Dreier, who is a photographer and a volunteer photographer with the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation. And we'll be talking about that organization also. So again, thank you both so very much. So how does a membership-driven collective media production company work, Ron?
Well, in this particular case, the membership makes the rules, okay? It's a little different from the normal nonprofit situation, okay? The membership makes all the decisions, major decisions, and then the executive director implements them, okay, and sets up administration and stuff of that sort.
Well, what kind of services are provided in the, for the membership, and what does Pan Left like to provide?
Well, Pan Left really likes to provide access to the man and woman in the street, training.
On video equipment?
On training on video equipment, okay. We have an editing station where they can get access to Final Cut Pro. We have 5 laptops, MacBook Pros, okay, where they also have access on each of them to Final Cut Pro. And they can get training on how to do the videos, how to edit them, how to post them on various social media sites. They can even turn them into documentaries or narratives or any other form of media that is available.
Right. So what project are you working on now? And it's
my project is the Homeless Youth Project. And what this is that we, Kathleen and I and others in my team will go into wherever the homeless youth are at, and we'll do interviews with them about their homeless life. And the concept is that we will be making a documentary tentatively named Homeless Youth Project, Tucson, Arizona. And we'll have a public forum after the documentary is done. We'll also have a lesson plan to go to schools so they can teach the youth about homelessness. It'll be available for the man in the street, man and woman in the street to download to their iPods and computers and so forth and so on.
Wow. And Kathleen, what in your role in this? You're a still photographer. We're a wonderful still photographer, and we'll be seeing some of Kathleen's work shortly. So what part do you play in the Homeless Youth Project?
For any of the interviews that Ron would like, still photography, I will go out with him and photograph the filming as well as the person that we are interviewing or the environment that we're interviewing the person in. And so what Ron has done quite artfully is interject the still photography in with the actual film work, and it adds a really nice element of a pause to reflect on what's being communicated in a still image.
Right. Are you yourself, have you been involved with homelessness as a social issue, or was this your first, working with Ron, kind of your first awareness of the issue?
I'm not unfamiliar with it. I'm a trained social worker, so and I'm still actively a social worker and employed as a social worker. So homelessness is and just abject poverty is something that I encounter quite regularly. But Ron and I connected, maybe about 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the details we differ on. I believe it was through MySpace, through a media outlet where I saw he was doing this. At the time he was gathering up donations of food, bag lunches. Often he made it himself or had other people in clothes, and he was going to Santa Rita Park.
Santa Rita Park,
is that
Tucson Feed the Homeless Project.
Yeah, and so I was just drawn to that. There was something that says go, and so that's how we met the better part of two years ago.
Correct.
Or so,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of unfolded since then.
So I have to ask Ron, have you yourself ever been homeless?
Oh yes, I have been homeless. Fact is, I've been homeless, and while I was homeless, I was an active crack addict. but I'm also clean and sober for the past 18 years.
All right, congratulations, as they say. I want to give you some contact information here, and let's look at Pan Left Productions first. And if you have any ideas that you would like to turn into all the things that Kathleen and Ron are talking about, Pan Left Productions, 631 South 6th Avenue. You can call 520-792-9171, and the website is panleft.net. And then you actually have started a foundation, correct?
Correct.
And describe that a little bit.
It is the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation, and the purpose of the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation is to advocate for the homeless and those in poverty in Tucson. So we do video and photo advocacy based upon that.
Wow, wow. And this is, I said we'd be looking at some of Kathleen's photographs, and we'd like to show you this and explain what was happening at the time that these pieces that you took and you were there. So let's take a look. So where are we?
We are in the tunnels, okay, where homeless youth were living. I think it was 5.
We'll see, there was 4 or 5.
Right.
Did they know you were coming? Had you made contact with these young people
Yes.
before?
Yes, they
Yes,
did.
we did. And you know, we're not going to identify where the
Right.
tunnel is. I mean, it's quite an act of trust for these young adults to allow us to know where they are and to come into their space. So the lighting that you see there is strictly from Ron's camera, because as you go further into the tunnel, it's fairly dark in there. And one of the most striking things that I heard one of these folks say is, "Don't judge us by who we're around." It was interesting because what I got from that is the people here were supporting each other, but they also knew maybe the bad habits of a person that they were with, but while they were trying to help that person get by, they did not want to necessarily be associated with what that person might have been doing that wasn't
Right.
healthy.
And these are really teens, aren't they? Pretty much, or young that you
They're-
were encountered.
They're
in
young
the-
adults, right?
Young
You would
adults.
say anywhere under 25.
Under 25, yes.
Right. And almost all of them, without exception, stated that they were where they were because of conflict in the home. That they reached
That's
kind
correct.
of the end of the rope with their parents and were basically told to leave.
Yeah.
And you can always figure practically 100% of the time a youth is homeless because of an adult. Okay, regardless of what they say. Okay, they will blame.
Regardless of what the adult says.
No, regardless of what the youth will say, they will blame themselves. I think there's some sort of syndrome that's named after.
Yeah. And one of the most striking things that they spoke about, in addition to just acquiring food on a daily basis, was, and this seemed very important, just to know where to go to the bathroom and where to take a shower, where to get clean, and figuring out that very simple task that we all take for granted every day.
Right.
Yes, and they were living in the most unhygienic conditions possible, because in the tunnels, that's where all the detritus and from around the city is washed down.
So during monsoons, it gets completely wiped
Just going
out.
to say. Yeah.
But there was one tunnel very close to that distance. We were going with a young man, because I think he was going back to either retrieve items or check on a
Correct.
space. And it was hot. It was over 100 degrees, but the tunnel was just flooded with water. And so what he was saying, or what we were talking about, is sometime within a matter of hours, the fire department, or some authority figure came in and just sprayed the whole thing down
Right.
to get to get the
yeah.
folks out. And that
What-
was just within walking
What is the
distance.
future? I mean, can you generalize about what is the future of these young people?
Well,
Is that where the change comes in?
The problem is we have to bring about a change, okay? Because those youths are going to hate us, okay? And they are going to be a drain on society. There are going to be a drain on the law enforcement, the health system, the legal system, and we need to bring them back into the fold now, because there are so many of them.
You know, as you just said earlier too, you know, every young person is homeless because of an adult. And it just seems like we owe it to them. You know, they didn't want to be homeless, you know. And we are talking about this, and I want to make sure you have the contact information for the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation. And I can also say that there are some great videos and stories about homeless on this website. It's the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation.com. Again, the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation.com. How instrumental has Pan Left Productions been in putting together this whole concept and allowing you to do this work?
You know, without Pan Left, you know, when I started this, I really didn't know what I was doing, okay? I mean, you know, I started here at Access Tucson and got the basics of video production, yes. And that started me on that road. And then Pan Left Productions shoved me a little bit further along that road by giving me access to numerous experts on various media subjects that I could ask questions about how to do this and how to do that, and so forth and so on. And as you probably know, we also received a grant of $7,000 from TPAC. Well, they helped me write the grant. I mean, because I didn't know how to write a grant, okay?
Oh my gosh.
And they did about 99% of it, you know what I'm saying? I just put the emotion into it.
And the idea of starting a foundation and working, the Carlos G Figueroa Foundation, and really advocating for homelessness. I mean, all that's kind of come out of the fruit of social media, you know, learning media production for social values.
Right.
What other projects is Pan Left working on right now?
Well, right now we have Jason Aragon, who is doing Under Our Pio, okay, an expose of his, Pio's work in Tucson, in Phoenix.
That was a diplomatic, very diplomatic.
Yeah, right. There's Brenda and some other people who are doing some border stuff. Actually, what they're doing is they're doing a video process on, I think it had to do with the park where the zoo is at, how people were displaced when that park was.
And I know that Pan Left also is doing a lot with children. They teach.
Oh,
They're
yes,
working with the library.
The
correct?
library, correct. I'm even participating in part of that project. Jason Aragon is doing the library project, and he's teaching youth how to use media for their benefit.
Right, that's great. Well, I have to say I really admire the work that you two are doing in particular for this project, and how powerful the pictures you showed us were. And I hope we all go to Carlos G Figueroa Foundation and learn more about this problem, and perhaps we can help too. Thank you both for sharing this with us.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
having
Vicky.
us here.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.